Next, let's queer up the court. Federal judge denies stay on Florida's ban on gender-affirming care. In a pivotal decision, U.S. District Judge Robert Hinkle has refused to stay his ruling invalidating Florida's restrictions on gender-affirming care. It is a move that maintains access to crucial medical treatments for transgender individuals amid ongoing legal battles. Judge Hinkle emphasized that delaying his decision would inflict needless suffering on transgender Floridians, citing increased risk of anxiety, depression, and suicide. He underscored the absence of any compelling state interest justifying a stay, noting that Florida previously supported gender-affirming care for years without issue. The controversial ban, implemented in March of 2023 under directives from Governor Ron DeSantis and Surgeon General Joseph Ladapo, received legislative backing through SB 254, which imposed strict penalties on medical providers offering such care. This included severe restrictions on telehealth and onerous consent requirements, effectively limiting access for both minors and adults. The lawsuit challenging these measures was filed by 4 transgender adults and 7 parents of transgender minors. They were represented by advocacy groups like LGBTQ+ legal advocates and defenders, and the Human Rights Campaign Foundation. In response to the ruling, Jennifer Levi of GLAD said, quote, "Today's ruling forcefully reiterates that healthcare access must be based on sound principles of medicine, not politics or bias," end quote. Meanwhile, there has been no official statement from Florida officials regarding the court's decision. Well, this is another good story, because anything we can do to push back against Ron DeSantis, and his vile administration and laws and our draconian measures again, is good news to me. And now it's been pushed back. This is the second or third time. I'm forgetting how many it is. It's at least twice. So it's just a relief to see it's not holding up in court, these bans.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's one of the scariest things about these bans is Republicans, most likely a lot of them are voting for it with the assumptions the courts are going to strike them down. And they're doing this just as a way to try and get a quick vote and attack a marginalized group just for kicks, really, at the end of the day. They know they can't even get through.
Base.
Yeah. But the scary thing is the courts are getting more and more absurd. We just saw a Trump-appointed judge just throw out a case against the former president. Like, who knows where our courts are going to be in a few years?
Yeah.
I can't promise that, these crazy laws that they know, I think they're drag bans. I think they knew they were all going to get thrown out. But we don't know if that's going to be the case in a few years.
Yeah.
And that's where I wrote down, this is where voting comes in. This is literally where voting comes in, because I know a lot of people concentrate on presidential elections and governor elections, but we vote these court systems, we vote these judges in. Yeah. We vote all of these judges, all these circuit court judges, all of these local elections. They are extremely important. And to pay attention to your local constituents, to pay attention to those people is extreme. My parents have always taught me and brought me up that you vote in every election, Jamal. You vote and you know who these people are and you study who these people are and you research them. And I'm before I used to be like, but now I'm really understanding the entire process and how important it is. Because shout out to Robert Hinkle for actually, because when that came down from Governor DeSantis, it was a very huge blow to the trans community to not have access to vital medicine.
Pure evil. Pure evil.
Listen, these people wanted us to have statistics, right? And the Trevor Project gives them these statistics every single year, right? And last year, just like every other year, they have said the percentage of youth, right, that don't receive gender-affirming care are thinking about suicide. And it was a horrible amount. It was like 9 out of 10 kids were thinking about that. And a big event had already tried, all right? We're losing our children. And the Trevor Project tells us that every day. The AMA listens to them, okay? Why can't this crazy ass Surgeon General listen? Okay, the American Medical Association agrees that gender-affirming care, okay, does not lead a kid to want to kill themselves. That should be all the data you need to make sure that these children aren't following through with such a horrible thing.
You would think politicians would care, but they tend to care about 2 statistics. how much donors they're going to give them, and what the polling looks like. That's what they care about at the end of the day. I've seen this again, and this story is unfortunately a really horrific reminder of that.
Yeah.
Yep.